boys. They seem to spend hours in completely useless activity. That combination of new lung power, changed voices, and boundless energy is hard on the neighbors. They quarrel a lot, but the gang sticks together. They want to prove their own importance by making themselves heard.
Holy shit, it has been a minute. Hasn't it?
The way he said that, bro.
It's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been about like 3 weeks.
It's been more than 3 weeks. I think
I do not think it was.
The last one we put out was at least 3.5 weeks, almost 4 weeks ago.
Mm.
You know, I said 2024 was going to be the year of me traveling. And
Yeah.
by God, we've been fucking doing that. Right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I think we literally went on one trip, I guess.
No, we went to fucking Las Vegas.
Yep.
Okay, but we already
We went to
talked about Las
California.
Vegas.
Well, I'm not saying we're talking about. I'm just saying like we did that. I mean, this is the year of travel.
year?
We're gonna be doing all kinds of shit. I got cool stuff planned for the whole year. Some of it's with you guys. Some of it's not. Some of it's just little solo trips, you and me, one-on-one, things like that. Some of them family, all of us together. But it's gonna be a kick-ass. So we might get erupted in this podcast. We'll still be doing a podcast. We're just getting back in the damn groove. So for all of you out there, thank you for your support. Appreciate you guys listening. And this week is going to be a pretty badass. As always, I don't think we've made a bad podcast yet.
Debatable.
Well, this week we're going to be going way back. This is going to be TGIF. Guess what that means?
Like
I have no idea.
TGI Fridays at the restaurant?
That's a restaurant?
Kinda.
Yeah, TGI Fridays.
I thought that was just something.
But TGIF, what does it stand for?
I don't know. F stands for Friday.
Friday. You're right.
On
Friday. F is for Friday.
TG, right? TG?
TGIF.
TG. Tonight? I have no idea. It's not tonight?
No. Thank God it's Friday.
Bro.
Oh,
Right? Thank God it's Friday. TGIF.
I swear
Hell
we
yeah.
talked about it before.
I probably said something about it, but that was like when I grew up, and we're talking like the mid to late 80s and 90s and all the way up until, shit, I don't even know. They probably stopped doing it in the early 2000s.
mhm.
But TGIF was every Friday night. We'd watch it every Friday night. So like if you were somebody like myself, I didn't go out and party every Friday night. I didn't go to parties. I didn't go games. I didn't do anything for football. I would just come home and chill. And, my mom, dad, everybody would get together. We'd all go out to eat, have dinner, cash our checks, get groceries, do a little bit of shopping, come back home. We'd have all that stuff done probably by about 7 o'clock. We'd be home, 7:30, and TGIF would come on. So we're like, hurry up, let's get home and watch TGIF. So we'd watch TGIF. TGIF usually has 3 or 4, sometimes 5 sitcom shows. Some of them were 30 minutes long. For the most part, I think they're all 30 minutes long. They might have been one an hour long or whatever.
So just like 5 random episodes of random shows.
But they're 5. Some of them are totally different shows. Like they are specifically different.
Uh-huh.
For instance, one of my favorite, and I know you guys know a lot about, is
What?
Full House.
Oh,
Full House.
Full House, yeah.
Dude,
So, I mean, look at
yeah.
all the crazy, like you guys probably still could watch a rerun of Full House today.
Well, we have the disc.
Yeah, we have
We
the
do.
full
I bought
season.
I bought the whole series. It wasn't just a day. I got the entire series
Yeah.
when it came out.
I
'Cause I loved it. I grew up with it.
I probably watched the whole thing.
It's freaking awesome. I love it. I mean, it's one of those things that, and we'll talk about it later, but one of those things that they don't have today.
Mhm.
Like, you learn something. When you watch Full House, you learn something new. Like, and I ain't saying, learn stupid shit. I'm talking about life-changing, oh my God, what would happen if I did this moments in these actual sitcoms. You learn something. Like, I learned what's going to happen the first time you get your heart broken by your girlfriend. I learned about watching Full House.
You can just search that up on Google now.
Well, yeah, but we didn't have Google then. So then you would also, that would be pretty bad if you're like searching that up.
Yeah.
By the way, but you also, like, for instance, like, what should my first kiss be like? Like when you watch Full House, you'll see their first kiss.
Like, oh my God.
Yeah, and you're like, oh my God, that's really cool.
Doesn't seem right.
And you kind of have this idea, and they help with everything from, being a single parent and uncles and aunts and hanging out and what boy crazy stuff, like all those things. It's Full House is what I grew up on, and that's kind of how I feel like I've learned to live my life.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And you have other shows like Family Matters with Steve Urkel.
Mm-hmm.
Still don't know who that is.
Oh my God! Yeah, I know you've seen it. I know you've seen clips
I'm not
a million
good.
times.
I'm not good with titles.
But it's probably one of the coolest ones. It has the dad's a cop.
He is?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, dad's a cop. And he was on Ghostbusters, by the way. But yeah, the dad is a
He
cop.
was?
Yes, he was in Ghostbusters.
Who was he?
He was a cop in Ghostbusters, I'm pretty sure, too.
Oh, okay, yeah. Bro, I don't even know.
No, Family Matters is a good... You know who Steve Urkel is, though, right?
I know who Steve
Did
Urkel
I
is,
do
yeah.
that? Yeah, Steve
Yeah.
Urkel.
Oh,
Right.
I
With
forgot.
suspenders
Yeah.
and like
did.
glasses.
I know what
He
you're
had the
talking about now.
suspenders and
Yeah.
the glasses.
I never watched it.
I've seen a
You
little
probably,
I've
you
seen
probably
clips.
did. When you were a kid, you probably watched it. You probably haven't watched it recently.
bit of it. Yeah.
But you watched
why
it as
not?
a kid for sure. For sure. But that was a really good show. And that was a long, like, I can remember watching that for like probably 5 years of that series going on, like 4 or 5 years. So that was like a really good one.
Mm-hmm.
Another one I could say is fucking Step by Step. That was probably one of the coolest shows because it talked about a woman who had, I think, 3 kids and a guy who had 3 kids. And they got together, fell in love, and
So
no,
Full
I'm not
House.
talking fucking no. Full House is a little different. Full House had to do with the mom dying,
Yeah.
and the dad had to take care of 3 girls by himself.
Were they his?
Of
that
course, they're
his
fucking his. But they had 3 girls, and then they had to decide. As a single father,
Yeah.
in the 90s, I'm sure it sucked. So then he was like, "How am I going to do this?" Well, then. The mom who died, her brother was Jesse,
Mm-hmm.
right? So Uncle Jesse, he moves in and helps out. And then Uncle Joey moves in and helps out.
Right.
What are you laughing
He's
for?
my favorite.
Joey was fucking awesome. Joey Gladstone was his name.
Mm-hmm.
And you put them together, and then that's the whole sitcom. That was perfect. And then Family Matters was kind of like just a family, and they dealt with like all kinds of other everyday problems. And then you had, Step by Step, it brought a whole different dynamic. It brought families who had been a family before that had divorce.
Mm-hmm.
As a kid, one of the things you learn real quick is like if your mom and dad get divorced, how you deal with that. But Step by Step made it almost understandable and relatable to a lot of people. So the man had 3 kids, the woman had 3 kids, they got married, and it kind of blended together. Now, they had a show years before that. Why are you laughing? They had a show before that was called The Brady Bunch. Have you heard of that?
I heard
No.
that one, yeah.
Okay, The Brady Bunch. Yeah, so
Yeah.
they had that series like freaking forever ago.
Mhm.
I think it was like a 80s, 70s show.
I don't remember my childhood as much as you guys.
Well,
Barely.
I mean, you watched a lot of TV, but you didn't watch nearly as much TV I did. When I was a kid,
That's all you had.
that's all we had. Like if it was raining outside, you're fucked.
So, question: is this only on Fridays? Like you would only get to watch
it was
shows
only
on
on Fridays. Yeah, so you'd have to wait until next fucking Friday to watch the new episode of Full House. You were talking
Hell
about
no.
suck. That sucked.
It's basically what I do every
Oh,
week
man.
anyway.
And there was some shit back in the day. It would be like to be continued.
Oh.
So you'd be watching it and you'd be like, "Oh my god!" Like they went to Disney World, right?
And you
Uh-huh.
miss an episode.
You're fucked.
You couldn't download it like you can now.
No,
No,
you're
bro,
fucked.
on TV,
you're
man.
fucked. You're literally
You can't
on
have that
live
shit.
TV, and it wasn't DVR. You can just magically bring this shit up. You watched it directly off TV. If you had a VCR that could record, which not a lot of people had that, but if
Right.
you had a VCR that recorded, you could probably record it, but the quality sucked.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, sucked really bad. But nonetheless, and you always have a cheap ass parent. Like my dad was cheap ass. So he would fucking record over the same tape over and over again.
Oh my god.
Does that make the tape worse?
It makes it horrible, by the way. So the quality just goes down 10 times every time they fucking do it. And he'd have like 12 on there. It sucked, man. It sucked.
Jesus?
It did. Yeah, he had probably like recordings of religious Jesus shit on there. Too.
you
I'm
couldn't
sure of
just
that.
delete one and then put another one on.
You can't delete. There's no deleting, man. You just record over it. This isn't a computer. Like it's a fucking. It's
You're like watching the show and then out of nowhere it's just lapping with another show.
no. It does. It happened. That actually happens. It happens when you're watching that, and you see like in the beginning there's a like it
Why
would
was
like
that
go
so?
like
He did a really good
I
impression.
know,
there, I'm not
right?
gonna
That's
lie.
exactly how it was though, because I remember that shit growing up. That sound don't go away.
Yeah.
And you'd be watching something, and it would just you see a glimpse of something and come back. It's like, fuck, they recorded over my fucking show, and so you just lost it, and that's what it was, and you couldn't get it back. There was nothing.
Well, if you think about it nowadays, sitcoms are not a thing anymore. I feel like not at least
Nothing like
maybe
that.
on like Disney Plus.
Now, what Disney Plus is pretty cool because it brings back a lot of these shows, but they also have some shows that are spin-offs from it. You mentioned a while ago a show that you liked. One of the shows that was on this TGIF lineup, and it was probably late 90s, was Boy Meets World.
Then
And then you just made a comment a while ago about how, you like,
Girls Meet World.
yeah. So, I mean.
It's in my opinion, it's better because it's newer. It's more modern.
But
I can't stand old stuff.
with that one, that's the daughter of Topanga and also the boy from Boy Meets World.
Yeah,
Right.
so he's in it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, they're both the original ones. All actually, I think even, wasn't the teacher in it for a second? The old man?
I don't know.
Wait,
I
no.
haven't seen it for a while.
Mr. Oh, shit. I can't think of his name right now.
Who cares?
Mr.
I want to talk about our shows.
Hold on. I got to get this shit right. He, the teacher, was the voice of Kit, the car on Knight Rider.
There was a car that talked.
Yes, it's called Kit.
What is Knight Rider?
David Hasselhoff.
Oh,
I can't, I'm not good with names. You'd have to show me the person.
David Hasselhoff. He
the dude from SpongeBob, the
yes,
live action movie.
Yes, he was writing on his back or whatever.
Yeah, he like went to his chest. He's like 3, 2, 1. They went
Well,
into the
you know what's sad about this? You probably know him from like America's Got Talent because he was on America's Got Talent as one of the judges in the first 1 or 2 series.
Mhm.
David Hasselhoff. He's huge.
So
in
was he the
Germany.
judgmental one?
He was known best for his
No.
role. He was known best as his role in Baywatch. He was the.
That's what it was in SpongeBob. That's what
right.
it was actually.
So he was like the main lifeguard. He's like the boss lifeguard.
Yeah.
Pamela Anderson and all them. But anyway,
All right.
So it was Mr. Feeney. Mr. Feeney.
Why are
I
you
don't
looking at him
remember.
for approval?
I'm trying because I remember. I'm pretty sure it's Mr. Feeney. If it's not Mr. Feeney,
Let's talk about crap
pretty
I
sure.
know, bro.
well, I mean, I'm letting you know though. I mean, this podcast is about fucking 70s, 80s, and 90s, and that's exactly what we're talking about. Now let's talk about what show you want to compare. Growing up, what show do you watch now that you learn shit from?
And we're talking about realistically.
Yeah, realistic. Like when you watch something, you're like, oh man, I could see that happening in my life. What? Shut up, Seth. I know what you're thinking.
I want to think you would work. So,
Yeah, you better not work for your life for sure.
uh,
And I've never watched You. So tell me a little bit about that. What is that?
oh my god,
And really, it's not a sitcom. Obviously, it's a TV show.
yeah,
Or a series.
just a regular TV series. It's about a
not regular.
No, it's not
okay,
really
maybe it's
regular
not
about
a
it.
regular, but it's about a guy who murders people for obsession. Like he has a obsession over a girl every new season, and he kills for her
That's
and make her
crazy.
life
Yeah, see,
better.
That's not even. That shouldn't even be in the same conversation as what these are. It's definitely not a sitcom. Sitcom is something I feel like if you want to define what a sitcom was, it's something you learn something from that either gives you a good feeling or you walk away like or whatever.
I've never walked away from a sitcom thinking I know better.
You never watch like Full House. You never watch a series of Full House like Uncle Jesse just explained.
I don't care.
what
that
happens when your
girls-
dog dies or
I
when
don't
your
care that
goldfish dies.
sisters have a quarrel. One episode.
That's like every fucking episode.
Yes, I
but
know.
Still, but I mean, that's every episode. But there's always something that has to do with something, and you learn shit from it. Like that's how you learn how to say no to drugs and say no to peer pressure to smoke in a girl's room.
Yeah.
Like,
No, you can just do that normally. I feel.
yeah, but if you didn't know any better,
What are we talking?
like if you
we
didn't know any
talking
better,
about
like
an
you grow
orphan
up.
or something that doesn't have
Like
family?
for instance,
Like,
in the 80s and 90s, your mom or your dad probably some people grew up 80s and 90s. You had parents that smoked, right?
Right.
So then you go to school and your friends are in the bathroom smoking in the boys' room. Yeah, that's a good song.
Yeah.
But they're smoking in there, right? And then all of a sudden, they're like, "Here, you want to take a puff, dude?" And they probably don't have that deep a voice. But anyway, they're like, "Hey, you want to take a puff, dude?
do a puff, man?
But, that actually happened a lot then. Now,
It's the same. I think it's more
it's
more
the
of a
same
thing
now?
of like parents.
Now it's fucking vaping,
parents
which
tell
is a
you to
whole
stop.
stupid shit.
like parents will sit there and tell you not to do it instead of the shows.
Well, that's because the parents
'Cause
watch
the
the
shows
goddamn.
now the
because
shows are telling
parents-
you to do it.
The parents watch the fucking show,
Well, then
and they know better. And
the
now
shows
the kids
are telling
kind
you to
of
do the stuff you're not supposed to do now.
the kids are mildly stupid now, and they're like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Like they're confused.
mean to smoke the vape.
I don't know. Like they don't know. They want to do it. They just want to go and smoke or whatever. That's the way it is now. But no, my generation was taught, by shows like that, what was right, what was
Okay. You want to show
lying and all that stuff. Like
you
if
want to
learn,
show
like,
that's like all Marvel shows on Netflix. Those teach you a lesson every episode.
not always,
Most of the time.
not really. I have never watched.
He has to deal with relationship problems, and then he has to deal with being a hero. And taking the bad route compared to the good route sometimes is better than taking the right route. Like stuff like that.
I mean, I guess.
You got to achieve something.
Yeah, we don't got no superpowers though. So it's
Well,
not
yeah, but-
relatable.
Yeah, right. That is
You
not really.
understand
No,
their
he's right.
struggles,
That's a
though.
valid point.
But you can compare their struggles to your
The
struggles.
only person I compare it with is fucking Batman.
Yeah.
Green Arrow, bro.
Shit, how
He's
come we
literally
didn't do that? He's freaking rich.
Green Arrow is
yeah,
literally the same
Batman.
dude.
Huh?
Batman and Green Arrow are the same guy.
No, not even.
One's just less rich.
Not even
No.
close.
Green Arrow's also rich.
No, not even.
No,
Not
unless it's
Batman
Bruce
rich.
Wayne.
Not fucking Batman
Green Arrow,
rich.
this is different. Green Arrow actually kills people.
You want me to call Ben Affleck and ask him how fucking rich Batman is? Fucking rich.
I know. They're not as rich. Like he's not as rich as them. That's the only difference.
No, he's not even remotely rich. Batman is.
You have
rich.
not seen the show on Netflix. Clearly, he owns.
Okay, first of all, Batman is so fucking rich. He's real.
Mhm.
All right, that's how rich he's fucking real.
Uh-huh.
It's a real guy living in. What you laugh? It's a real guy living somewhere. You
Why are you
can relate.
laughing?
How many fucking people dress up like Arrow and drive around in the real world? Nobody.
Because they don't know how to freaking use a bow.
Nobody.
It's a harder mechanic.
Nobody. But you could drive around in any big ass city and somebody's got a Batman car, dressed up like Batman, going to a fucking charity.
Yep.
A charity.
I promise you. Yes, a charity.
Make the wish.
Whatever.
Make
They
the
do
wish
it.
happen.
There's Batmans in real life. Ain't a fucking not one Arrow
All right,
in real
all right,
life.
bro. We're getting off topic.
I'm just straightening the facts out. That's all.
That's the only shows I could think of that
I'm trying to iron that shit
would
out
work
right
for
now.
it though. But a show that like I watched,
It's a little
3
spicy
times.
episode today.
a show that I watched 3 times, and it was a sitcom, and it's back in the day, was
What?
How I Met Your Mother. I would say it was my favorite sitcom ever.
Why are you trying to meet a mom?
No, it
The
was just
fuck?
it was
Like,
a
what was
compelling
it?
story. I
How was
related
it?
to the main character.
How so? How? Please explain it. How did you really?
What do you want me to do? He went through
Explain it.
struggle with women. That's the main.
You
that's
struggle
the
with
whole
women,
point of
You
the
were
Kendrick?
show.
like 10
Yes,
when you
you're
watched
struggling.
that shit, man.
Doesn't matter. I
You're
was struggling,
at 10,
man.
You were like, I'm gonna smash this MILF right now. Like that's how you were fucking thinking as 10-year-old.
He was
Really?
struggling. He would go into a bar, try to find the mother. Wasn't her. Guess what? We're 400 episodes from meeting the mother, because that's how many women he went through.
It's fucking crazy. You know what happened in real life? That really happened. He'd be fucking dead. That's what
Yeah.
he'd be dead.
Barney's
or have
best character.
17 kids or some shit like that.
Barney's best character.
You know, the best character he played was Dookie Howser.
I don't even know.
Dookie Howser. Seth, you know who Dookie Howser is?
Nope.
Dookie Howser, MD. That was a series, and I just watched a couple episodes with my wife the other day. Dookie Howser is the guy that you love so much. You know, he played in this series as a really smart doctor.
Wait, is that the
Drink
one
your
thing?
fucking drink. He literally played a smart doctor, and he was only fucking like 12 or 14.
What about Good Doctor?
No, this is no.
Dude, Good Doctor
different. No.
is so
No,
funny.
that's a whole different thing. No, this is nothing like that.
I am
This guy,
a surgeon.
no, but that's that's a good show. And actually, I would say in today's era, That's probably the closest sitcom that I would watch because I did watch The Good Doctor.
Yeah.
That is good, and he's fucking amazing. By the way, the guy that plays that part,
Yeah.
amazing.
But he's known
Autistic
for
dude.
he knows he's not actually autistic.
No, I know that's what I'm saying. Like he plays the part perfect though. Like not too many people can do that.
Yeah, but you just call you're like autistic dude. Yeah,
He's good. He's good.
he's pretty funny.
Well, I mean, and he's played another show. And I've seen. Here's what sucks about him though. Like when you play that good of a part and you watch him in something else.
It's not as good.
Yeah, and I'm like,
That's why everybody
I don't
knows
like
him
it.
as the good doctor guy.
yeah, and that sucks. That's like fucking Daniel Radcliffe.
Mm-hmm.
You know who Daniel Radcliffe is?
No.
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
Oh.
So
Bro,
now when you see
was
him
good-
in other
he was
series,
good in that one movie where he had guns connected to his hand.
that is the dumbest.
Oh,
fucking,
Gun Akimbo
that is
or whatever.
so stupid.
That was funny as fuck.
That is stupid
It was
as
funny.
shit. But the whole point is he was such a good Harry Potter. We're never going to know him otherwise. Like maybe when he's
Yeah,
way
but it was-
older,
The thing is,
he doesn't look the same anymore. Like he shaves his head,
no,
dyes his
you
eyebrows
can
or
tell
some
it's
shit.
him. You can tell it's him.
Probably. And as soon as he
You can tell
starts
it's him,
talking, hello, my name's Harry. No,
Here's
as
the
soon as
thing,
he starts talking, it's fucking over.
He doesn't need to be anything. He doesn't need to be anything else. He made so much money just from doing all the Harry
I mean,
Potter.
that's true. That's no lie to that. But I mean, for him though, like, could you imagine? I mean, it'd be cool to be just a millionaire when you're that young and ain't got to fucking worry
Who's
about
the
working.
ginger?
Mm.
Huh?
The ginger?
Ron Weasley.
Ron?
Ron,
The guy who plays Ron?
would you like to see my
I watched
wand?
a show where
Yes.
it was about drugs. It was actually pretty good.
Oh, I've seen that one too. That was pretty
He
good.
like kills a guy.
Somebody said, and I don't know, this is a fun fact that I learned from somebody, but somebody said that the guy who played Ron Weasley actually has so much money because he was also one of the ones originally, obviously, from the whole thing. But he made a lot of money. He put his money back. He was very smart with it. But he drives around in the UK
On a
and-
horse?
No, he drives around in a fucking a free ice cream truck, giving away free ice cream and shit.
Oh, really?
Bruh.
Somebody said that. Yeah, Google that shit. That literally, it's what
We're
that's
not
what I was told.
Googling it right
I
now.
got my
Well,
phone.
you ain't got to
bro.
do it right now, but I'm just
I
saying,
think,
like
his
that's.
name's, I think his name's actually like Rupert Grant or something.
I don't know.
Like that.
I don't know how to say it. I'm just fucking
Yeah,
Ron
no, wait.
Weasley.
Yeah, it's
that's
Ron.
all I
His
know.
name
There's
is
Ron
Ron.
Weasley. He'll always be Ron.
I don't
to
know
me.
who
Yeah.
what Hermione is doing now, but
She did awesome. Now okay. Now this is weird though. A guy can't get away from his character, but a girl can because a girl can I don't know for whatever fucking reason you can take a girl away from whatever character she's playing and she can reinvent it into another one. For instance, the girl that played Hermione played Beauty and the Beast.
I just don't. I don't think she had like such a major role in the show.
Bullshit.
Or,
She was
I
the
mean,
main
the
part,
movies,
just like the rest of them.
but it wasn't her parts weren't as impactful as Harry Potter himself or Ron, who's just British.
What do you
I
mean,
think,
bro?
you know, she's not. She didn't do as much.
I mean, I'm pretty much, it was like a three-way the whole fucking 9 years of school they were in.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it was like all three of them the whole time.
I don't like her character because she was the stuck up one. Like she was like, "But this is how you do this. You gotta do it this way. You gotta do it the way you gotta do it." And it's stupid.
Damn,
I
he
love
just
your
took,
saw.
he
It's
just
your
took me
saw.
back to the Sorcerer's Stone. That was such a good fucking impression.
That's the first
not
one.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It took me way back. Way back then. No, anyway, but yes, I mean, I can get it. But yeah, but that's what I mean by is when you play a character like Dookie Howard was played by him, and he was such a good actor, and you bring that today, and now he's done all kinds of different shows.
Barney has done another show.
What? That's kind of like
I forgot, but
he's done a couple shows actually.
yeah, I actually like him in a lot of them.
But I mean, it's just one of those things. Like I don't know
He
why
could have been
did one
Ryan
character.
Reynolds if he played the cards right. Like he could have been him. What do you mean,
Ryan
nah?
Reynolds is different. He's kind of different.
They're both funny.
I mean, I agree. They are funny. No lying about that.
He just needs to own Mint Mobile, and you're Ryan Reynolds.
All that. But anyway, so some of the other shows, from that lineup that kind of affects us today's stuff. One show that Seth and I were talking about was Dinosaur. Remember dinosaurs?
Oh my God.
not the mama, not
Yeah.
the mama.
Stop it.
Dinosaurs.
I got PTSD.
That scared you, right?
PTSD from me.
PTSD.
That scared you a little bit.
Dude,
It was a weird series.
It
It
was-
was funny, but they didn't have unless you were somebody who went to like a theme park.
I
and
wish
seen
it was
characters.
animated.
I mean, no,
Animated would've been
because it
so
was
much
it was
better.
the first of its kind that I can remember, other than like
Yeah, it was horrible.
Fraggle Rock and shit like that, like Jim
was-
Henson,
Yeah.
Kermit, like stuff like that. But these didn't look like puppets; they looked like
No,
real
it
fucking
was one of those
dinosaurs.
shows where
Yeah.
you have to keep looking even though you don't want to.
Yeah, I liked the show.
I
liked
could
it.
not.
I like not the mama,
The baby freaked me out the most.
Clarice. Yeah,
The
the whole
baby
time it was
freaked you out?
awesome.
The baby freaked me out the most.
Yeah, I would love to have one of those animatronic babies. I ain't even gonna lie to you.
I would be.
I think it'd be good. And the ending of it is super awesome too, because everybody was talking about how the ending, everybody remembers a certain way, but it actually wasn't that way.
Oh,
Some
the
people's-
Mandela effect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you've heard of that, right?
Oh yeah.
That's a whole other thing we can talk about some other time. But the reality of it is, the end of that show was kind of weird. The guy worked in like a little outdoor, like wood
tree. cutting.
tree cutting thing, and he just pretty much bowled down shit with his bare hands and stuff.
Right.
But the whole thing ends with the dinosaurs dying.
what?
Oh yeah, because you don't get the concept.
They went extinct, Seth.
It was the meteor.
The fucking dinosaurs died.
Oh, I thought I was set.
I watched that last
though.
episode. I remember
Oh,
watching
you
the
think
last
they all
episode.
got reborn and came back?
No.
Oh, fuck.
Last episode they had
I
like
thought-
the last episode they died and they were
Right.
sitting there, they're talking to each other. Oh yeah.
I love you. Yeah.
The baby
yeah.
was like,
You don't remember that?
What the fuck? No,
That's what the
I
baby
didn't even
was.
see no.
That's why
episode.
he's traumatized from it, because he watched the last episode and he's like, "Puck, I just seen them all die together."
No,
You
I
know,
was
it's-
happy.
Yeah, I bet.
I was excited. I was like, let's go.
So the one thing on this list I would say a lot of the girls out there liked was Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Do you
We
guys
watched a
know-
little bit of it.
Yeah, you remember that? So
I
there's
remember
two
the
versions
cat.
though. There was one growing up. Yeah, what was the cat's name?
I don't know, but I know it talked. It was weird.
Yeah, it was a weird one. But it's not Chester. Don't look at me stupid. It's not
Huh?
Chester. It's not Chester Cat.
No.
But that show was kind of cool because it was, again, going back to something totally different and unique and weird. But that was a good show.
What's
That
that
was a
one
good
show?
Which one?
The one with the girl who was a wizard.
Wizard of a Wizardly Place.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a good show.
that's a good show.
You know why that's a good show?
Why?
Because it's Disney. It was a
Not
sitcom.
anymore. Not
It was
anymore.
a sitcom,
Not
and it
anymore.
was on Disney, which, by the way, was ABC, which is TGIF.
Are we going to talk about the situation that's been going on with Nickelodeon and stuff?
What do you mean?
Not
What do
in
you
this
mean?
episode. You can tune in for the next one we can go over. Did you guys watch that?
What?
It was a whole documentary, right?
You watch it? I watched it.
About what?
I just know about, like, I know
That's like,
things.
what happened?
The
That's
Dan guy,
Oh,
But anyway.
okay, I know what you're talking about.
not the
Okay.
man.
Let's not talk about it until you've watched it. Both of you want to watch it?
I know
we'll-
what it is. I
we'll
know
talk
what he
about
did.
it.
I watched.
Because I tell you something that was crazy, because I love to have my feedback on that, but I'll let you guys watch it. We'll tune
Man,
in.
if you say something,
You guys
you try
tune
to go on
in.
that set.
You guys can, all you listeners out there, you'll hear our feedback on that. I don't want to be spoiling anything for anybody. So make sure you listen. If you guys are going to listen to our next couple of podcasts, we are going to do one on this. Nickelodeon was cool. I didn't much care for Nickelodeon. I'll be honest with you. I was a Disney kid.
all I know is all his shows were like super popular.
Well, yeah.
Like, he would make the
Right.
hits.
Yeah, no, he was cool. He was cool.
Huh.
He was cool like that.
Ah.
Well, whatever.
Yeah, I know
Anyway.
about that.
Anyway, but yeah, if you guys do it. So today, going back, we just kind of did a rundown. That was a lineup for TGIF. I wish we had TGIF today. I wish we still had it in our homes. I would probably do it. The closest we have to this, and growing up, remember I talked about how Disney, growing up with Walt Disney, every Sunday night they would have the Wonderful World of Disney, which is kind of like about an hour and a half movie. And it would be like a presentation where sometimes even Walt Disney himself would come on there and he would like present whatever the movie was for the night. It'd be like Old Yeller or
R.I.P.
something like that.
Mhm.
Yeah. And it'd be really, he's not dead.
The Disney guy.
He's not dead. Walt Disney, he ain't dead. He's somewhere in a frozen.
Yeah, he's in Pirates of the Caribbean, Frozen.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Don't act like you didn't know that.
No,
You
I'm
know
just
damn
thinking.
well.
I was thinking about him looking like Abraham Lincoln, but I don't think that's right.
That's
What?
weird. But anyhow, but yeah, so I mean I think that, that kind of sums it up. But
I've been starting to watch a show called Dexter, and it's been really fun watching it.
why are you watching sadistic shit?
I watch you, and my whole TikTok is just my whole For You page is just clips of Dexter, and I need to watch it now because it's on my For You page a bunch.
I don't watch that shit. That's stupid.
It has 8 seasons. I need something to watch. I've already watched everything on
Dexter.
Netflix.
You want to watch Dexter? Watch Dexter's Laboratory.
It's
Mhm.
trash. It's trash.
Dexter's Laboratory is awesome.
No.
But again, I'm not a Nickelodeon kid, so I don't know.
That was Nickelodeon?
It was a Nickelodeon show.
Yeah. Not the best show.
So it's Cartoon Network.
I like the
Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, it's all the same shit.
I like the one show.
It was everything but Disney. That's what it was.
What's that one show?
You had Disney and
With
you had
the
everything
blonde hair
else.
dude with a dog and the two sisters in a lab. Like the sisters ran a lab. And then the boy was like
Johnny Test.
Yep.
That's Cartoon Network.
Not Disney.
Cartoon Network
doesn't
is
matter.
owned by Disney.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. It's Nickelodeon. And they both suck.
You
But
don't think-
anyway.
Does Disney still not own Nickelodeon?
I mean, Disney owns everything, I guess, in the long run. But no, they don't own Nickelodeon. If they own Nickelodeon, that shit wouldn't have went down. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it would have went down with it.
It still would have went down.
It would have went down with it.
Yeah, it probably would have, because they're just scumbags. But anyway, anyhow, well, this is pretty much sums it up. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's podcast. Sorry it took us a little bit, but you know what? I don't regret it. We went to Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
Viva la Mexico! We went to Mexico. We went to Costa Maya. We went to Cozumel. We did a whole week on the water out in the middle of nowhere. Did a little Caribbean vacation. I didn't hate it for once. I didn't hate it. It was nice getting out and do whatever.
We might talk about it next podcast.
Yeah, we'll definitely. We'll have to go back and talk about all the fun stuff we did for sure. But anyhow, appreciate you guys listening. Tune in, and I hope you guys have a good week. I hope you've enjoyed this week's episode of A Blast from the Past podcast, brought to you by Decades Music and Entertainment.
New episodes dropping every Thursday.
Yeah!